It is late. The office is silent, save for the hum of servers and the pale glow of monitors. A team of exhausted people sits around a table, staring down a choice with heavy real-world consequences. Then, a screen refreshes. An algorithm delivers a recommendation, framed in a clean UI with a single confident metric. Notice the reaction in the room. Shoulders drop. The agonizing debate that usually accompanies hard choices simply stops. Everyone nods, and the project moves forward. Why did they agree so quickly? No one asked how the system arrived at that number, and no one checked its logic. When a human speaks, we look for cracks, a wavering tone or a hint of bias. But a digital interface offers no such friction. It delivers answers that arrive smooth, finished, and ready for use. We never explicitly decided to break our trust in human judgment. It happened slowly. We allowed our responsibility to drift toward machines because they offer a version of certainty that is easier to live with. This is a corporate data dashboard. It is designed to look organized, balanced, and complete. Behind this interface, there are no rough drafts or signs of effort. We tend to read this lack of visible struggle as objective truth. Because the system looks fluent, we assume it is correct. Humans hesitate when they weigh options. Automation removes that pause. By delivering answers instantly, the machine outpaces our capacity to even form a doubt. Look at this 87% confidence score. This figure acts as a stand-in for the messy, unquantifiable details of the situation. It replaces a complex story with a single value. When that score shatters, we see the fragility it was hiding. Inside that two-digit number is a cluster of missing data, delayed signals, and wide variance. Long before this calculation began, a developer had to choose what data counted and what was ignored. Those subjective human guesses are the foundation of every result the machine produces. Statistical precision doesn't eliminate uncertainty, it just compresses it into a symbol that is hard to argue with. The number doesn't provide clarity, it provides a place for our attention to stop. These jagged trend lines are snapping into perfectly straight, bright green bar charts. This visual shift is a form of persuasion. We are wired to trust symmetry. When we see visual order, we assume the underlying logic is just as stable. The design tricks the eye into seeing rigor, where there may only be a clean layout. Notice how those odd shapes are dropped into the void. The system smooths out variations and hides outliers to keep the charts looking consistent. It effectively packages exclusion as optimization. This leads to an action. A user sees the green dashboard and clicks Approve. To the user, the task is now complete. Every click moves a choice down a long line of disconnected steps. Responsibility reaches the glass of the screen and stops. If a small deviation enters the system, a wrong value that still looks correct to the software, it passes through every stage without an alarm. One person reads, one approves, one executes. No one sees the whole chain. When that quiet error eventually causes harm in the real world, we search the logs and find only compliance. The system behaved as designed, and the users followed the interface. The mistake remains real, but because the process was followed, no one owns it. Many organizations now benchmark their entire reality against these outputs. They schedule their meetings and draft their policies to match the rhythm of the machine. This dependence hides the drift. As long as the status remains green, quiet failures accumulate at the margins. We stop looking for warning signs because we've been trained to trust the stability of the screen. These algorithms are a permanent part of our workflow. They offer speed and reach that manual judgment cannot match. To manage them, we have to treat human judgment as a control layer, a deliberate moment of friction that we introduce into the system. This requires the practice of internal restraint. It is the simple, difficult act of keeping your hand off the keyboard while the output sits on the screen. During this pause, we have to ask what stayed hidden. We check which assumptions were baked into the model and which fragile edge cases the system was designed to ignore. A confident output is the raw material that begins our thinking. It provides a signal, but the judgment of whether that signal fits the moment remains ours.